What's going on, everyone? This is Eric with Full Mount MMA, and today I am joined by the UFC's smiling Sam Alvey. Sam, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, my friend. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, it's great to have you on. You're out supporting your teammate right now, Trevor Wells. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's right back there. He just made weight. He's just rehydrating with some good recovery shakes, and yeah, he's having an okay moment right now.
That's great. That's great. Is that something you're getting into more? I mean, you've always been a coach in the game, but this seems like what you really like to do, right?
I don't know if I can say more. I've been full-time coach for probably longer than I've been fighting. So it's just something else, another trick to my trade.
Of course, of course. Well, it's been a couple days, almost a week past your fight against Brendan Allen. Another late replacement for you. You're not one to say no to fights in your career. Do you think that played a factor at all in the fight?
I would love to blame that. I have no idea. I know I was very ready for Ian Heinisch, and then Ian Heinisch backed out about 5 weeks ago. And then I was very ready for Phil Hawes, and then he backed out last Monday. And then I was ready for Brendan Allen as a guy could be. So he hit me harder than I hit him, and so my hat's off to him.
You know, it's every opponent is very tough. All the names that you just rattled off, very tough opponents, but especially Brendan Allen, tough to prepare for last minute. Were there ever any thoughts of maybe not taking this fight, pulling out and waiting for a full camp against an opponent?
No, I've never, at this point in my career, you got to hold on to what you can hold on to. And I have never once said no to a fight. I wasn't going to start then.
How much pressure were you under in this fight, since you mentioned that the last few didn't go your way?
Pressures. I'm always under pressure to win and to compete like I know I can. It's part of the job. I don't know that I was in it any more pressure than my previous fights, but I went into it knowing I was going to win, knowing it was going to be a good day for me.
Of course, of course. Well, you posted a video on your YouTube channel after your fight, really opened up to the fans, shared your story, not just with the fight, but, going back to your time as a teenager. And of course, how you were feeling after the fact. Why did you decide to open up in this way and share the moment with your fans on YouTube?
It's a sport that it's so hard to get into the minds of these athletes. And I have so much respect for all the athletes in the UFC and Bellator and in MMA. But a lot of the time they're too tough. They're too tough for their own good. They're hard to really crack open. It's an emotional time when you win. It's an emotional time when you lose. And to be able to just use YouTube like a diary and kind of let my fans know, let the people of the fans of the sport know a little bit more of what's happening inside the athlete's head as it happens. That was kind of my thought. Is like, I've got something to say, and maybe there's somebody out there that wants to listen.
You've gotten a lot of praise on social media for sharing your story in the way that you did. Have you noticed that? What's it been like to get this support after posting something like that?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. The internet can be such a dangerous place, especially after coming off a loss. The vultures tend to like to circle real heavy then. But honestly, it's been so supportive. My YouTube, I'm over 1,000 followers now, which thank you all for following. I'm going to keep growing that and trying to share a little bit more into the sport and what it takes to be an athlete in this sport. But the outpouring of support I've received since my fight, since that post, has really, it's helped me. I've really appreciated all the kind words and prayers and thoughts.
What kind of content are you going to continue to post there? I know you mentioned a little bit in your video, but I want to, give us the pitch right now. Why should we subscribe?
All right. So I've got more fights than just about everyone except Mousasi. I think Mousasi still has more fights than me, but other than him, I outrank everyone. I've got over 70 fights. I have fought in every country in this planet, just about. And I've got a story from each and every one of them. I've got my story so everyone was commenting that I look like I spray tanned in my post-fight or pre-fight things. Well, I did. And there's a reason behind it. And it's a really funny story. I lost $50,000 spray tanning once. So my post this week is I'm going to tell the story of how I lost $50,000 getting spray tan. And I've just got so many stories that are funny. Some are serious. Some are some are heartwarming. I've just got so many stories from behind the scenes of MMA fighting and I'm really gonna to open up. I'm gonna be an open book and answer a lot of questions and do everything I can to introduce the different side of the sport to the people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We'll make sure to link that in the description below and promote it a bit for you.
I that.
One of the more serious parts of the video is about a 12-minute video. So I recommend anyone watching this take a step and watch that. You did mention that you thought that you were going to be cut by the UFC. I'm just curious why you thought that after this fight in particular that would be the case.
I'm on a slump. I mean, there's no hiding it. I can decorate it. So I think I won 4 of my last 5 and blah, blah. At the end of the day, I'm on a slump. I haven't won in too long. And I hate that I haven't won in so long. And it's easy to come up with the excuses, but that there are no excuses. I haven't won. So if the UFC cuts me, there will be no ill will, no ill feelings coming from my end. I love what that organization has done for me, and more than me, what it has brought to the world. I mean, it has opened up a new level of athleticism that was not even possible for athletes. I mean, for wrestlers or jiu-jitsuers or strikers prior to the UFC. So if they decide to part ways with me, I can't blame them. I'm going to continue fighting. I'm going to go out and get back in that winning column somewhere else. But I hope they keep me. But we'll see. I've grown to love the organization, but more so the people that run the organization.
I was going to say, you seem to have a pretty good relationship with everyone over there. Has anyone reached out and talked to you after this fight?
No, but it was actually before the fight though. The chief executive officer or something, he reached out and he before I fought, he reached out and said, "Hey Sam, I just want to let you know that me and like everybody that works for the UFC really loves having you on staff. It's so easy for people to complain about things and you just never have." I mean, it was a very warm message that he sent me, and I was very happy to hear. It really perked me up, prior to my weight cut. And so it was kind of sweet.
That's good. That's good. You mentioned in the video that you were going to take some time off after this fight. How long are you thinking, if you have a plan, and what are you going to focus on in the meantime?
I have no plan. As for how, I said I'm gonna take the hiatus, and then I thought as soon as I hit send on the videos, if the UFC called me and said you want to fight next week, I would say yes. So I'm going to just get back to work. I'm going to take this week off. I'm going to relax a little bit. I've got my bumps and bruises. It was a real long camp with a lot of twists and turns. So I've got my bumps and bruises and cuts and sprains. So I'm going to take this week off. Next week, I'm back in the gym. I'm going to lift. I'm going to hit jiu-jitsu. I'm going to continue my Muay Thai. I need to do something. I need to do something to make myself a better fighter. I've gotten really good at doing the same thing over and over again, and people have figured it out. That's the problem with having over 70 fights. People have seen me fight once or twice. So I got to start bringing some new tricks to the trade.
How much do you still enjoy the sport as a fan, like sitting down, watching pay-per-views? Is that something that you still do?
Yes, absolutely. And actually more than ever before. Not so much because of the sport, but because I've been in it for so long. I know so many people in this sport. And I am such a big fan of the people I know. Sean Strickland is one of my better friends. He is my best training partner. Chris Curtis lived with me for 5 years. Francis Nogano and I have a funny story behind the scenes. I got to know so many people in this sport. And so every week I get to watch my friends compete. And that's really brought a new level of excitement to my life and to the sport itself.
That's good. You brought up Sean Strickland. I actually just talked to Eric Nixick a couple of days ago about the incredible run that he's on. What can you say about that as somebody that's a close friend and training partner of his?
It doesn't surprise anybody. I mean, you've probably heard stories about Sean and how he's a nut and how he's this and how he's that, and he gets kicked out of. No, the truth is he doesn't get kicked out of gyms. He goes in there, he beats up everybody, and then they don't want to train with him anymore. So he just runs out of training partners. So then he goes to the next gym and he beats them up for a camp until they don't want to train with him anymore. Then he goes to the next gym and beats them up. And it's not that he's trying to be a dick or a tough guy or any of that. It's just that he's better than everybody, except me. You don't tell him I say he's not better than me. Better than everyone but me. But he's an animal. He will be the world champion, and I hope I get to corner him when he gets it.
That's great. That's great. And I just noticed your shirt. Is that for sale anywhere? That's a great shirt.
I gotta come out. I gotta get it on sale. It was a friend of mine made it. It's gonna be my new catchphrase for my YouTube channel. Never don't smile, baby. And so I'm gonna get them into production. I gotta figure out how to do all that. I got a couple shirts I want to start selling, but yeah, this is the one.
I was going to say, yeah, because you're a fan favorite of the sport. You've been around for so long. As soon as you do start to, get consistent on YouTube and start selling these, it's going to be no time before you start blowing up. Like, Stephen Thompson, I don't know if you keep up with his channel.
I don't, but I need to start. I've never been a YouTube guy, but now it's like, I got to learn how he does it. I got to learn how all these guys do it.
It's great. All it takes is one video. And then before you know it, you'll have thousands of subscribers out of nowhere. I know it's going to happen.
I got to start doing those videos.
So, talked about being a fan a little bit. It's always hot topic for the fans to talk about what they would like to see changed in the sport. Right now, it's fighter pay. Everyone's talking about it in the media. Jake Paul's talking about it. As somebody that's so experienced in the game, are there any changes that you would like to see in the sport going forward?
Well, Jake Paul is a clown, and he is not trying to help fighter pay. He is trying to help himself. The easiest way, every fights sell when you either want to see somebody win or see somebody get knocked out. Jake Paul has figured out that everyone wants to see him get knocked out. He is so full of himself. He wants to try and switch the narrative. And so he goes after the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit that sounds great to everyone is pay fighters more, pay fighter more, pay for. And that's, if UFC, Dana White, any of those guys were to do what Jake Paul is asking, he wouldn't get us paid more. He would eliminate the roster of the UFC. We would go from a roster of 800 to down to 75. It would be the John Joneses, the Francis Ngannou's, the Conor McGregor's, and then a bunch of people to feed to them. And that's the way it would go. The UFC is doing a very good, very proactive adjustment to its pay, and it has been. When I started fighting in the UFC, I made $8,000 to show, $8,000 to win. Wow. That was 9 years ago. Right now, it's up to $12,000 to show, $12,000 to win for your first UFC fight. That you find me any other job in the world what's that, a 50% increase or close to it? It's up $4,000 for a 50% increase in 9 years of the base pay. You'd be hard pressed to do it. I currently make more money than Joe Stevenson did when he fought for the title. I know I made more than Gray Maynard did when he fought for the title. The UFC's pay is going up dramatically every year. But the people like Jake Paul, they like to say, oh, they're not getting paid like football players. Well, football players sell out, 60, 70, 80,000 arenas every week. It is a bigger sport. We're growing, and there's no doubt in my mind that as soon as we are doing the same thing, we will get paid more than they are. But we're not there yet. We are working on it, though.
Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that, Sam. Before I let you go here, you've been so generous with your time today. I wanted to give you the floor. Anything you wanted to shout out or promote, maybe teammates, sponsors, anything, up to you.
Well, one, my boy Trevor Wells back there. He's just recovering. Yeah, Trevor, woo. He's fighting tomorrow with B2. What's it called? B2. And it's a fantastic. It was actually the last organization I fought for before I went on The Ultimate Fighter 45 years ago or whenever it was. So it's a really nice promotion that's been around for a while. So there's Trevor Wells right there. But then myself, I love TikTok. I love Instagram. Twitter sucks. And I'm really falling in love with YouTube. I'm Smiling Sam, SMILENSAM on all of them. So please follow me. I'm very interactive. I'm probably the most interactive fighter on the roster. I love talking to you guys. I know I wouldn't have a job or a career without fans like you. So I try and give back every chance I can. Thank you guys. And I hope we can continue this journey together.
Awesome. I love it. I'll link all that in the description below. But Sam, it was great talking to you. Can't wait to see you in the future.
Hey, we'll see you soon and we'll talk again. And remember, never don't smile.
I love it. On sale soon, right?
On sale soon.
All right, Sam. Thanks again.
Absolutely, my friend.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you like our content, be sure to subscribe to Full Man MMA. And while you're at it, make sure to hit the bell icon as well so you never miss an update from us.